My dog's in season, what do I do? Hi, my name's Charlie Thorburn. Welcome to Mordor Gun Dogs. On this video, we're going to just discuss your dog coming into season, probably for the first time, during the key stages of its training. This is Sky. Sky's come here for a bit of training. She's arrived and she's come in season. So what do we do? There are a number of trains of thought. If I speak to some of my what I would call old school dog training friends, if they were dealing with one of their own dogs who came in season, just sideline it for a month. Just don't do any training at all. Give the dog a time off. It might be overly emotional. It might be difficult to train. It might be difficult to focus. There's a lot of reasons that they would just go, let's just not bother. We don't have quite the same attitude. What we do is we play it by individual dogs. So what can happen when your dog comes in season? The first thing is, let's just describe the season. It can happen from 6 months, but realistically with working dogs, it's normally nearer a year old. And if your dog hasn't come in season for the first time until they're 13, 14 months old, don't worry about it. It's just time. Like us humans, they all grow up at different rates. What we find, is particularly with Labradors, is the showbred ones mature quicker, develop quicker, and come in season earlier. The working ones tend to leave it a bit longer. When they're coming in season, you might see some swelling around their back end. They might be peeing more. They might be sniffing their own pee more. They might be bothering themselves a bit more. None of those things mean they're actually in season. It's just showing signs that they likely are coming in season. The first actual day of them being in season is the first day you see blood spotting on the kitchen floor. You've then got a kind of grace period of about 5 or 6 days, dog dependent, but on average 5 or 6 days where they're bleeding, but actually they're not really of that much interest to other dogs. Your danger zone really comes when what happens is that around day 8, their blood starts going pinky and more clear, and that's when they're actually ready to be mated. They're ready to stand, and that's when you really need to keep them on the lead, keep an eye on them, and not be traveling around in public with them in a park with them off the lead. You've then got a period of time from around 8 days to up to 20 odd days where they could be bred by a marauding local chap looking for a weekend of fun. So that's the period of time. Often people sort of say to us, oh, they're just coming out of season, and actually that means they've stopped bleeding, and in their mind that's it over. No, that's it just beginning. So just be aware that when they've bled, they've then stopped bleeding, or the bleeding's reduced. That's really the danger zone. That's the point we're concerned about in terms of unwanted teenage pregnancies. The main thing to consider is not just you, but other people. If you start taking your dog into the park when it's in season, you're going to wind up all the other people and their dogs, their male dogs that are entire. It's really just pretty antisocial. So I would just, keep your dog away from public places, etc. You're not totally out the woods. I would never say you're totally out the woods until probably a month after the first day of bleeding. We've had dogs in the past who we've bred on day 5 on purpose. We've bred them on day 5 because that's just where they're ready in their cycle. And we've tested their blood, and that's worked, and they've had puppies. We've also had dogs that we've thought we've completely missed their season, and we've bred them. We've ended up we've bred them on day 21. We had one Cocker Spaniel particularly. We dropped her off with the stud dog on about day 10. Day 13, 14, nothing was happening. He wasn't interested. By 15 or 16, I was like, what a shame, we've missed the opportunity. And the lady who was looking after the dog rang me on day 21 and said, we've just got a tie. She had 10 puppies. So they're all slightly different, but the general rule is the danger zone is day 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then you start to come out the other end and they become less receptive. Now, whether you're wanting to breed your dog or not, you need to look at those in a different light. If you are wanting to breed your dog because it's old enough and it's had its health scores and it's a good enough dog, then that's the time that you're thinking, this is my window. And if you're not wanting to breed your dog because it's too young and you don't want, or you're just not wanting to have puppies, then that's the window of real danger. But don't sort of think they've stopped bleeding. Oh, I'm sure it's passed. Be quite vigilant right until the end of the month, and then you know you're out the woods. What can happen when a dog comes in season? Some of them makes absolutely no difference to their personality. And this one here is a point in case. She's come in season, not bothered at all, not changed her nature, not changed her temperament, not changed her behavior. Nothing's changed at all, apart from the fact she's in season. And when she's out with the other girls, they're trying to mount her and she's standing for them. But when she's out training, she's being exactly the same dog that she was before. So that's an easy case dog. We just carry on as normal. Then we get the dogs that get terribly overexcited and they get the zoomies and they're charging around and they're a bit silly and they're not focused and they're running out after a dummy and they drop it and they run off and they're just like, woo-hoo, and they're just being terribly silly. We just do some basic obedience. We carry on trying to achieve something, but we don't worry about it too much. Then we get the other end, which is the more difficult end, which is dogs come in season and they go terribly soft. The whole world is against them. They're terribly worried about life and it's all a bit stressful and they don't know what's happening and it's just too much for them. And those are the dogs that if that happens, we would say, just leave them be. Leave them alone. Little short walks out in the garden, just a nice quiet time until they get over it because their hormones are hitting them hard and they're finding it all pretty tricky. There isn't a golden rule for what the right thing to do is. I think it depends on your circumstances. If a dog comes here for training and we can carry on training them, then we carry on training them. If they come here for training and we can't because they go all soft, then we stop. We normally call the owners, either they take them back or we just mothball them for a few weeks until we feel we can start training them. And in your situation, in a sort of home environment, you just have to play it by ear and not worry about it too much. But if you've got any sort of training days or competitions or anything like that, when the dog's in season, you've just got to cancel it and not go because you can't start going into public areas, and especially when other people are trying to achieve things with their dogs when your dog's in season. It's just not fair on them, and because they don't know why their dog's being a pain because you didn't tell them that you haven't been putting signs up saying, just been here with my in-season bitch, your dog's going to be a pain in the ass. So probably their dog's getting in trouble. Come on, listen to me. They're getting cross with their dog. They don't understand why their dog isn't listening. They're having a bad time. It's really all your fault. So just take that that note. Otherwise, it's just part of life. One of those things. Don't get in too much of a pickle about it, and just carry on as you see fit. In terms of neutering your dog, females, we would always recommend that your dog has at least one season before they're neutered, normally 2. We want them to be a fully mature, fully grown dog, 18 months old plus before you neuter them. There are circumstances that dictate that you have to do it sooner. Occasionally there are health reasons or whatever those are, and they're like every rule, there are exceptions, but as a general rule, don't be in too much of a rush to do it. Just let them be, let them mature, let them grow and go through that part of their life, and then discuss that. After that, you can discuss that with your trainer, with your breeder, your dog, with the person who bred your dog, or with the vet, and make yourself a decision on the back of it. Anyway, I hope this is all helpful. Remember, you get out what you put in, and we'll see you all next time.